Hello, I'm Mario Cottom. This is CS6460 Educational Technology. I have chosen the development track and I am presenting Milestone2 of the Insecure Code Generator Teaching Assistant. First, I'd like to do a review of the problem Insecure is trying to solve. As you can see from the chart, according to Thormidson, the number of computer science students graduating from university has increased by at least 300% over the past 15 years, from a low of 17,000 in 2010 to a high of 52,000 graduates in 2022. Furthermore, over the past 10 years, Bierman reports that software vulnerabilities have led to trillions of dollars in financial losses, increased risk to natural infrastructure, and software vulnerabilities only continue to increase at an alarming rate. Lastly, while most organizations will have a cybersecurity department that is charged with identifying, patching, and reducing risks posed by software vulnerabilities, Williams states that it would be better if we made secure coding part of the curriculum for all engineering students. That is to say, teach cybersecurity and secure coding early in the software developer's career. Now, in order to raise awareness of secure coding practices, the Open Web Application Security Project, or OWASP, consisting of leading industry and academic leaders, has published their top 10 web application security risks, covering topics such as broken access controls, crypto failures, code injection, and insecure design, with a vision statement, no more insecure software, and the mission to be the global open source community that powers secure software through direct education, tools, and collaboration. The OWASP provides foundational knowledge to security-oriented professionals. However, learning secure coding practices often requires investing time in the OWASP alongside academic and professional career development. This is the problem Insecure is trying to solve. Let's go into some concepts. Under the hood, the Insecure chatbot is powered by Meta's CodeLlama large language model, which has been tuned specifically to generate code with quality and performance that is comparable to Microsoft Copilot. Since this LLM has been tuned to provide code examples in Python, Java, TypeScript, and many other languages, it may not be familiar with the latest developments in code vulnerabilities, which, as we just saw, can increase at a linear, if not exponential rate. Furthermore, this large language model has a cutoff date of September 2022. Therefore, in order to provide responses that are enabled with recent developments, Insecure uses a combination of encoding, a large body of documents known as a corpus pulled from the OWASP top 10 are chunked, parsed, and encoded using vector representations that attempt to capture the semantic meaning behind the text. Retrieval. The user query is also encoded semantically for meaning, and then used to search across the encoded documents in order to retrieve document sections that best match the user query in terms of intent. Lastly, generation. The user query plus the retrieved information are combined and passed to the large language model in order to provide a more contextually relevant response that uses both the LLM's internal knowledge and external knowledge referenced by the user. Here you can see the process visualized where documents are loaded, split or chunked, embedded, and stored in a vector database for efficient retrieval. For this project, I'm using a local instance of ChromaDB. Once all this is put together, the pipeline looks something like this. A user will submit a question, in this case through Slack. A retriever will query ChromaDB, searching for the user query by semantic meaning or by intent. Once relevant information is pulled from the corpus or large body of documents pulled from the OWASP top 10, the user query and the prompt are combined into an enriched contextualized message that is sent to the large language model. And then the large language model will use its internal knowledge plus the enriched user prompt to provide a relevant response to the user. Let's go on to a demo of the Insecure Coding Assistant. We go on to the demo. The Insecure bot is a Slack bot that runs on Slack powered by CodeLlama, or a modified version of Llama 2.0 tuned to writing code. At first, I'm going to ask it to write a Python function to query an SQL database. And let's see what it responds with. Here it gives you an example of how you could use the SQLite database to make a query. Now let's use this guy in insecure mode and ask it to run a query and teach us more information, referencing the OWASP top 10. One thing I have observed is queries can take a few seconds to run because it is running locally in a machine using Llama 2.0. Now here it gives you a bunch of contextual information on SQL injections, and it gives you a reference to the OWASP top 10 cheat sheets, which the user can then click on and go check out to get additional contextual information. Let's follow it up. At Insecure, help me write a Python function to query an SQL database and avoid blind SQL injection using insecure mode. It's like, I don't know how to help you with that. But if you'd like to learn more, check out this reference document by the OWASP. And go ahead and click on this guy and cite the sources. Where you get a ton and a wealth of information that's been referenced. Let's do one more. At Insecure, help me write a query for an SQL database using parameterized queries. And here's an example in C#. Now let's do it in insecure mode and we'll see how the behavior changes providing references. Oof. This was not the expected behavior, but as we can see, it did not hallucinate, it did not make things up. It said, I do not know, which is the desired behavior. When it does not know, it responds with, I do not know. Let me do one more. Help me write Python function to query an SQL database and avoid blind SQL injection using insecure mode. And here we go. We get two examples of how this could be achieved using SQLite 3 in Python, along with a reference to the OWASP top 10. One area where I am struggling with right now is consistent output formatting, but it's something I look to have done by the end of the project demo. And I look forward to everyone's feedback. Thank you.